Decoded.
Ever wish there was, like, a shortcut? A way to get to financial freedom where you're the one calling the shots, designing your own days? Welcome to Book Decoded. This is where we dig into powerful ideas from books, hoping to help you live a more informed, more empowered life. Today, we're diving into Scott Trench's Set for Life. It's a book that gets a lot of buzz for, challenging the usual path. It shows you how to chase what he calls early financial freedom. Maybe even, and this is the hook, retiring in your 20s from wage-paying work. That's a bold claim, isn't it?
It really is. And what's interesting right off the bat is how he redefines financial freedom for you. It's less about just having a massive number in the bank and more about generating enough income from your assets so that working a regular job becomes totally optional.
Oh, optional. Okay. So, like, real choice.
Exactly. Imagine, deciding on a Tuesday afternoon to just go to the park because you feel like it, or taking off to travel for a few months without asking permission. He gives this example of Brady, 33, who built a fortune with rentals and now basically does what he wants, starts businesses, writes, plays video games. That kind of freedom.
That's a powerful idea. So, okay, a core principle he hammers home is this. It's more efficient to not spend $1,000 than to earn $1,000, and then a penny saved is 1.33 pennies earned. How does he suggest putting that into practice? Because most people think small savings, right? Daily coffee.
Right, and he kind of flips that. Says forget agonizing over the lattes for the most part anyway. The real leverage, the big wins, come from tackling your large fixed expenses. Think housing, transportation, maybe healthcare costs.
Ah, the big rocks.
Precisely. Reducing those moves the needle way more. And it ties into this do-it-yourself attitude he promotes. Learn basic stuff. Fix that leaky toilet yourself using YouTube, maybe figure out your own taxes instead of paying someone hundreds. Saves cash, sure, but it also makes you more capable, more independent.
Okay, that makes sense. And focusing on big expenses, especially housing, leads right into something he calls the most powerful wealth-building tool available. House hacking. What exactly is that?
Yeah, house hacking. It's a cornerstone of the strategy. So instead of just renting an apartment or buying a normal house, you buy a property with multiple units, like a duplex, triplex, or fourplex. You live in one of the units.
Okay.
And you rent out the others. The goal is that the rent from the tenants covers most or even all of your mortgage payments, sometimes even more.
Wow. So you could potentially live for free or even make money from your home.
Exactly. He gives this example, Joe, earning $50 a year. His house hack brought in an extra $24,000 annually. That's huge. It turns your biggest expense, usually housing, into an income source. It's maybe unconventional for some, but the math is compelling.
Definitely changes the game. Now, beyond cutting costs, Set for Life also kind of questions the traditional career path, right? Says the corporate ladder is often unacceptably slow for this early freedom goal.
Yeah, he's pretty blunt about that.
Yeah.
The standard climb often just won't get you there fast enough if early freedom is the target. So the book encourages you to look for careers with performance-based pay, or better yet, develop high-demand skills that can scale. Skills that really mesh with what you're good at.
Like coding or sales?
Could be. He mentions a guy, Clay, who switched into software development in his mid-30s via boot camp. Now makes 6 figures, lots of flexibility. The point isn't just follow your passion blindly. It's more like build skills the market values highly, gain financial independence with those, then you have the freedom to pursue passions without worrying about the paycheck.
Right. Build the foundation first. And that focus on valuable skills seems connected to another key idea, the difference between real assets and false assets. Can you unpack that?
Absolutely. This is crucial. He wants you to really understand what builds wealth versus what just is. Looks fancy, but drains your cash. A real asset actively puts money in your pocket. Think rental properties generating cash flow, stocks paying dividends, a profitable business you own, maybe even accessible cash reserve, ready for opportunities.
And false assets.
Those take money out of your pocket, like a fancy car bought on finance, or even a huge primary home with a big mortgage and high upkeep costs that doesn't generate income. It might increase your net worth on paper, but it limits your cash flow. And this leads to an interesting point about accessibility. He argues for prioritizing wealth you can actually use deploy for investments or opportunities, especially early on. This might mean not just blindly maxing out, say, a traditional 401k right away, because that money is locked up tight for decades. Great for later retirement, but less helpful for early freedom.
Got it. Flexibility is key in the early stages. And finally, it's not purely about the money and strategy, is it? There's a big focus on habits.
Oh, definitely. You can't execute the strategy without the right mindset and routines. He talks about consistent goal setting, daily planning, really being intentional with your time, prioritizing self-education, like reading widely, maybe a book a week, and even mastering digital life, like getting your email inbox under control, inbox zero, blocking distracting websites. It sounds like basic productivity stuff.
Yeah.
But the goal isn't just to be more productive at work. It's about reclaiming your time and mental energy to focus on building your freedom, optimizing your whole life for that goal.
So wrapping it up, the blueprint seems pretty straightforward, if challenging. Work hard. Spend as little as possible, invest the difference aggressively.
That's the core loop. And maybe here's a final thought, something a bit provocative the book leaves you with. Achieving this kind of early financial freedom gives you what he calls an unfair advantage. But, importantly, he clarifies it's not really about income inequality. You know, like a top surgeon earning way more than average that's often tied to rare skills.
Okay. So what kind of inequality is it then?
It's about understanding and leveraging wealth inequality. It's about knowing how to make your assets work for you, how to get them compounding over time. That compounding frees you from needing a wage sooner. It lets you design your life completely on your own terms. And that advantage, the book argues, is one you can actively build for yourself.